Okay, I've only seen a couple of videos since yesterday. I saw a couple this morning. I was right away crying and stuff, and I was like, okay, I've got enough to talk about. But like, listen in the background. There is some weird sound outside. There's a fire going. No dogs are snoring for this moment, but it is weird. It's like it keeps doing it. It keeps doing this, like this weird. I don't know. You would think maybe like a bird call, some kind of thing. It's nothing I've ever heard before. And it is, it keeps doing it. It's creepy. Like, what the fuck is that? And those people in that house, not the one next to me. That's the guy who rides the motorcycle. Well, there's a couple of guys riding motorcycles. But he's the single one, who always wants me to go. And the house next to him, like, I don't know who those people are. There seems to be weird shit, though, because that one time I had seen him, like, there was a big fight, and the guy was outside yelling at the woman, I assume. But the stuff he was saying, it was like, what the fuck? And then, but then they keep having these weird parties. And my son-in-law said they were keeping him up the other night. Like, who goes into a neighborhood and then it's cold? Why are you outside? Why are you sitting outside partying and then like 4 or 5 all fucking night? Like, what the hell? That is so rude. Even if it's travelers, even if it's an Airbnb place, which I don't know since I don't know the people. But there's a dog there. I think it's a strange family. I don't know. Maybe it was an Airbnb and it's one of those places where people moved in when they went homeless. Because that's happened to a lot of Airbnbs. And then it's like, because these people have no respect for the neighborhood. I don't know that anybody knows who they are. But man, it's weird. But let me think. Okay. So that's weird. Oh, the bathroom. Oh my God. I just can't even believe how cool it is. I'll definitely do a video and show, and then I'll show the kitchen. The kitchen I still have. I'll just show you because I still want to do some countertops. Because I want to do, the thing I was all jacked up on was the countertop in the bathroom. Because I had to change out the sink or something. So I changed out, but I liked the tile. It was this old tile, and I liked that. And I liked it, so I kept the tile counter, and I didn't want to rip the vanity out. It's like a built-in thing. And so I left it, and I just left the countertop and changed the sink and the faucet. And then now, oh my God, it looks so bad. It looks so dingy and so crappy. Everything looks so much fresher and more colorful. So so I'm totally jacked up these tile sheet kind of things. I think a lot of people use them for backsplashes. I'm gonna use it for the countertop because it's not very big. And so I'm just gonna put those around, and then I have to grout it. So I have to take that out and beat out all that tile. And then so I can put it in there because there's a tile going around the back. So I gotta beat that out and then put those in. So anyways, I think it'll look so cute once that's done. So that part keeps drawing your eye, but I'll still do a video. And then it's the same thing in the kitchen now, because when I had moved in, the kitchen was so blah. It was like those really old, it just did it. These really old old wood cabinets, and then like the yellowish kind of countertop. So that is when I had painted white, and but I whitewashed them because I wanted it to look kind of antique, because that's what my table, I got this expensive table for a small place, and so the kitchen table folds out, so it's a small, compact, so you can fold it up, and so it's kind of whitewashed. So I thought, oh, I'll do the cabinets like that, and then I got some colorful knobs, like these Mexican, I'm drawn towards Mexican art always. And then Portugal though too, God. I got some cool tiles and stuff. It's just really cool. Like, there's so many cool places to go see and given the opportunity. And most people don't get to go out and see this stuff because they're trapped by this money thing. And I'm just so excited for life to be changing. And the countertops in, I had gotten a kit, and I painted them, and I really liked how they turned out, and it's very durable. The only places that it comes off is where it's wet all the time around the sink, and it's come off. So what I'm going to do this time, I'm just going to go black, because before I had a design. Now I'm just going to go black. Oh, that would be kind of cute. Yeah, maybe I would paint some like acrylic flowers or something on the black. Oh, that would be cute. Yeah, I might do that. And then I'm going to get epoxy, and then I'm going to put epoxy over it. Because when you get those kits, it comes with all the stuff, but I don't know that this stuff is strong enough, because like I could set things on it, I've cut on it and everything, and it's been fine. But it's just by the water. And so anyways, I'm going to do that countertop too. So the 2 countertops aren't done, but I'll still do a video and show. And I'll show my funky little weird closet I made, since I talk about my my little dressing room and dresses. So I'll show you guys like a little tour. But anyways, so the thing that had me crying this morning, every time I've seen it too, and it's the Maori. I don't ever think I'm saying it right, because it's like Maori, which is kind of funny how they did Moana. It's kind of like that, the Moya tribe. That's weird, because they kind of even look like that, like what I was saying. They're kind of like this bigger people, and they've got this like strong face, and I just feel like they're a tribe. They're a tribe, but their genetics are from somewhere else. So but there's a lot of those. I'm not just saying just these ones. There's a lot. But these ones in New Zealand, and they're the ones, like, if you look them up, oh my God, it is so cool. I see. I think what's his name? That guy. Who's supposedly with Amber Heard now, which I thought they hated each other or something. There's so much bullshit, I swear to God, when they talk about Hollywood stuff. But let me think, what is his name? He's like Aquaman or something. I can't think of his name, and I've always been like, I don't know about this guy. Especially that video of him, like, fondling his daughter's chest. It's like, and she keeps trying to push his hand away. It's like, oh, girl, I've been there. So, I don't know if that's triggering. I don't know what her life is. But the little, let's see. Oh, because he went out and did one of these dances or something. It seems like that they were very offended because he's not of that tribe or something. So I don't know if there's a very specific, I don't know the tribe, the tribe turf. Like, I don't know when you're stepping on someone else's turf kind of thing. But when you look these ones up, oh my God, it is so cool, because they do these like stomps, and they do these faces. I love their faces. They show so much emotion. It's like they're telling a story with their faces, and they do these and they all do it together. So it's all very in sync, and they do these shout things, and they do these strong movements, and they jerk, and they and you just gotta see it. It's so fucking cool if you've never seen it. And so anyways, in New Zealand at that Parliament thing, that's gonna make me cry, because I keep seeing it. What did I do with my tissue or my hanky? Get my hanky out. It gets me so emotional, and I know it's because the ancestors and stuff. But, just like there's all these guys that are here from the Roman Empire fighting. Like, there's different people. Like, everybody switched up roles and stuff, but we're all in this thing of putting things right. And so you have like Roman Empire guys, and so I'm from tribe. I don't know. I just get visions and stuff. Like, I don't know the details. I don't know the year and the time and stuff, but I just know my battle cry. That's so true. Hold on. Because it's weird how strong it was to me when I was a kid. And that commercial, man, sometimes some of these things, fuck. Guess it's good. Start my morning out purging out my emotions. um, because when I was a kid, I had these really strong feelings about the earth and about things, and people, didn't think about some of the stuff I thought about, and that there was things, that matter a lot to me. It was just weird because back then it was a very different time, and we had, like don't litter. Everything was about being moralistic, being this perfect person, and not doing anything wrong, not even thinking wrong, and because that's the devil. Now you let the devil in, and so there was like it's so funny because people just don't realize when they're not from certain times, they just don't know what it's like to live it. And that's why it's so important for those of us who live during different times to express it, and then the people who absorb it, for them to get to learn from it. But see, they keep that so divided right now. But anyways, there was a period of time where it was just morals, morals, morals. And so it had lots of commercials about littering. Smokey the Bear was big. And there was this Indian guy, and he was like a chief. And he had on the whole headdress and stuff. And he would, there would be a commercial of people, like, I think it was usually littering. It was people not caring about the earth. And then it would always show his face up close, and he would always cry. And it was like a mirror of my soul or something. It was like he was speaking to my soul. It was like I could feel his pain. It was like my pain was his pain or something. I don't know how to explain it, but it was something that has been, to me, that harmony and respecting earth and all the supernatural, the mystic, the magic, all of that stuff was important to me. And there was so many things that people didn't understand or know or whatever. And so now and there's all different ones. I'm sure there's different groups. Like, I don't know all the different groups. I was like, when I started figuring out, oh man, there's a lot of, that makes sense. Because the Roman Empire was a huge battle. So there's just huge time battles, like, of people who were here to go this full circle. And it's like bringing this energy in. So it's like I had said, it's not like coming back to be, a tribe person again or an Indian again or however. To me, I wasn't ever offended when it was Indians, but I grew up on that word, and that's, to me, it was like Indians were the people who were the native to the lands. They are the people who were the tribe people. And so they do all this stuff with the words, and people get offended, but like the indigenous, the tribes, the people who've been here a long time, and started battling these, these controlling vamps that come in and start taking their land and stuff, and they beat tribes down so much because it's like tribes will battle, but it's not like they're all going out looking for a fight. It's like they want to live in peace and harmony. When I'm looking back, not now, because now we're at a period of time where they've been beat down, they've been isolated, they've been put in ghettos and shit like that. And they've been moved and taken their land over and over and over. But they were beat down to get there. They were beat down, killed, and beaten and everything by these people. And so those of us who lost our lives and stuff, then we come back, but the battle comes from a different direction. To me, it's been like pointing things out to people. It's like an energy to come in, and there's tons. It's not like there's, like this woman, she's born to be before Parliament and bring in this fucking huge energy. Because a lot of I don't know how to, like, what it could be. You know, it can be things like this. These people lost everything for their tribe. Like that, people can come back as the same thing. You can come back in just because, or just like we have people who right now say, you know, my grandpa is my son now, and he's telling me like there's a one woman who's showing her, she was sure her little girl was her grandma, and she I don't know what all things, but she was sure. So she got out a picture. She had this old picture, and little girl's like 1.5 or 2 or something. She can't even talk. As you can say little tiny words, you know. But so she gets this old picture of her grandma out holding, that's gonna make me cry. God, what the fuck? Oh my God, damn. Holding her, the girl, the woman's mom. So she, I think, because the lady's younger in the picture, and so the little kid is who's being shown this picture. When she sees the mom, the person, the grandma, she starts touching her own hair because her hair's long and brown, and the little girl starts touching her. Oh, man, things are gonna change so much when people realize things. Like, so she starts touching her hair, and then she says, she starts poking the picture and pointing to the grandma, and she starts saying, me, me, me. And the lady's like, fuck, I told you guys. Like, I am sure that this is, and I've seen other ones. And then the kids have said, remember when I told you? Like, and so there's all sorts of cool ones where people are being born into the same family. So you can, you know, be born into this group, and then you did something, and then you get born back in, and you're trying to turn it in another direction, if you see what I mean. So, I mean, she has a big role, because now I started seeing it yesterday when I went on, I saw a video, but then this morning too, and where people are saying this is so big, and it's such a change in the energy in the tribes, and that's how I saw it. As soon as I saw it, I was like, oh, this is the change. This is when the tribe. My knees are crying again. Fuck. Because it's like taking a group of people and beating them down, taking away their rights, and moving them into a ghetto, and keep taking away their rights. And when they're trying to speak of God's rights, and then they keep saying, no, these are their laws, and they have to abide by their laws and stuff. But now the battle cry is out. There's no more. It's all changing. It's, you know, go back on God's law. No more of this man's law of enslavement. But in the micro macro of the energy, you see the change happening. And then Crystal said in the thing, so the fight just happened with Mike Tyson and Jake Paul. And I had just seen some clips. Like I saw something about Mike Tyson out there. I guess he had assless chaps on. And then I don't know if he had underwear on, because if he had like something on, because people said he was like waving his, I didn't see the video or anything. So I don't know, but to me, that was the representation of the dark energy, the senseless, mindless kind of sex drive, like just go with your darkest impulses. Don't stop and think about it. Go. How far deep can you go? How dark can you get? Kind of like that, that energy, which every time when I keep seeing these girls that they're just pushing out here on the red carpet, like Lindsay Lohan all of a sudden, just these, Jennifer Aniston, I'm telling, they look like they're in synthetics, and I don't know if that's going to be something that we're going to be, that they're going to be like, yeah, these people are willing to go there, take their consciousness out, put it in a synthetic, because they're so desperate to stay beautiful their whole life. It's like, whoa, that's going to be sad, because then you're going to find out, like, All you do is take care of yourself in a different way. Because aging isn't real. And it's real lucky for the young people who haven't aged yet, because then they can stop it. For those of us who've already gone through a lot of the process, we got to backpedal. We got to learn how to take care of ourselves again and do better at taking care of ourselves. And then, you know, a lot of people, their muscles have like weakened and atrophied and stuff, and they got to build it back up. It's like starting from scratch. It's like starting from waking up from a coma. Totally is. Yeah, it totally is. Like we're all waking up from a coma. And so you got to build yourself back. But yeah, like young people, they get to be like, fuck yeah, there's no aging. I just got to take care of myself. But then these people are just like, but they're so mind trapped. There's like, some of these people in Hollywood, I am just like, what in the hypnosis, fucking mind control? There's something with that. To me, there's always been this weird thing about that aging, which it was always kind of like to push us into an insecurity or something, so that we would spend a lot on products, go to plastic surgeons, and do all the stuff to our faces and all of that stuff. So that's more of like what Kim Kardashian, a lot of these people, like, you know, they get to be in a movie, and then all of a sudden, it's like, now we're supposed to idolize you. We're supposed to buy what you tell us. And that's why I said some of these people are fucking way up in their ego, way up their own ass. Jennifer Aniston, like, the way she comes out is like, shut the fuck up. It's so good. She's bold, man, in her manipulation. Yeah, and, you know, to me, it's all wherever they are in their own egos, like, blue. But, yeah, there was a movie I just watched. It was like, I think it was an old movie, but I think it was like a trilogy kind of thing. I can't remember. Oh, yeah, it had Burgess Meredith. It was good. Yeah, Burgess Meredith is playing like the devil at this carousel, like one of those old-timey carnivals, you know, under the tent. And he's the guy out there to get him to come in. You want to see something really weird? You want to see something really crazy? And then they come in, and there's one of those gypsy card reader things. She doesn't do her card. She does something else, like you touch her thing or something. And when you do, she takes you into the future. And so all these different people went into their own future. And then this girl's, and this is where, because this wasn't a lot of old stuff, like where your desires are going to get you into trouble. And, you know, think about it, you know, there was such a push on our morals. It's so weird how it switched so much. And why did they ever even do it? Like, why did they, oh, okay, the long game, to keep the division, so that this group would be like, to this group, like, what are y'all doing? And this group would be like, what the fuck are you talking about, you weirdo prude? It's like, yeah, man, it's so crazy. But, so so her desires is to be famous or something. And in her story, she goes into, I think her roommate had a good date with all these young actresses. And this girl had a date with some producer, director, or somebody who was going to get her into a place. And so she asked the one girl to go iron her dress while she finished, because the guy was going to be there. So the girl went out there and ruined her dress. And the girl ran in her room crying, how am I going to go? Ah. And so this girl's like, oh, I'll step in. So she goes, and then she starts hanging out with these guys and being friends with them. And then I don't know all the things, but so she wants to be famous, and she keeps hanging around with this one guy who's older, and there keeps being a lot of weird stuff. But it goes through the thing, and it seems like at the end that because she wants to be famous so much, but once she starts realizing what's going on, is that it's like they have to switch. Yeah, you can be famous, but that's all you get. You don't get to feel anything ever again. And I was thinking, what a horrible thing, too, because people think of like, oh, wow, that's so cool, famous, man. I just want to be famous. It's like, do you know how overwhelming to have so many people be like up on you? Like, what kind of fame do you want? Like, to me, you know, like you get to this fame, then, you know, people are there to see a monument and everybody's turning to look at you and take pictures of you. It's like, to me, it would be super overwhelming. You can't just go out and not be seen. And you have, you can't just go out and do regular stuff and enjoy things. And then you have everybody looking at you and judging you all the time. It's like, that's a lot of energy. And it's weird how these people, they just want it, and not even for a reason, just to have it. It's like, what do you just keep thinking it is? Like, you think you get mass acceptance because you're famous? No, you're going to find way more judgment. You have way more people thinking about what you're doing, what you should be doing, and how you should be doing it. It's like, most people don't even like their families being judgmental on them, much less you want the whole motherfucking world to be judgmental on you. So, and then so many people, like, they just want to be famous for nothing. Just nothing. Just because they're here. Just because they're born. I just want to be famous. Then, that's weird. Moana 2 just goes across. I didn't even know there was Moana 2. Which, this was weird. Because this is, perspective keeps coming up to me. Just nonstop. I can't express enough how important it is to work on your perspective. No matter what it is, keep looking at more. Even the things that are said, you can take them in so many different ways. Just take something that somebody says, and then just say it in a bunch of different ways. And it's like, fuck, man, this could be taken on so many different ways. But it was weird. Is like, so we finished with the bathroom. We went and returned the stuff we didn't need. Came back to have our nachos and sit and watch our movie. And so he picked a movie. And it was, he picked Joker. And so I had said something like, did you pick a movie? And then I saw Joaquin. And he goes, yeah, the Joker, it's new. And so I'm thinking, new? Like, that's not new. But, I mean, everything, like, maybe it's new to him, maybe. And so I'm thinking, I thought that movie was old. So I'm kind of just thinking about, because I'm not into the comic book and the, you know, all the superhero stuff, those movies, which is big box office thing. So, so I'm thinking, man, that movie's old. But I've never seen it, so I guess that's what we're watching. And so I come in here and we're sitting down and we're watching it, and he said something about it being new again, and I was, because there were certain things, and I kept being like, well, because he's in jail, and I'm like, and I don't know, like, I thought he got out of jail the last time, like, I don't have any clue, and so I was like, well, I'd ask a few questions, but then it came into, no, this is a new one. There's part 2. So there's part 2 of the Joker, and Joaquin is the Joker again. And, but it gets even weirder. We didn't finish it. We only watched a little bit of it, because as soon as Joaquin started singing, and I was like, is this a musical? And he's like, well, I don't think so. So we keep watching. And then all of a sudden, Lady Gaga's on it. And I'm like, oh, Lady Gaga, really like her. I mean, you know, redemption is everyone's, you know, if she really is honest, if she really is sorry, she sold her soul, and her dark shit, you know, you can get everybody to be like, yeah, that's good for you, I'm glad, you know, go. But none of us can take away what she, like, we can't take away her karma. Like, if she did some of this dark shit, I mean, she has to face herself. It's like you have to face your maker. It doesn't matter about what we think or what we say or whatever. So it's like, I bet I don't know. I just don't like her. And then oh yeah, oh yeah. Okay, so anyways, she just kind of, I don't know, irks me. And in this, man, she's got extreme eyebrows. Like, I don't know what the fuck. Why were they, like, her eyebrows go way over here. They're black. They go way over here and they go way down here. It's like so much fucking eyebrow. Like, what are they doing that for? And I think is they're trying to make her look crazy. But so, anyways, then there's some more singing, some more dinging. Then once it got to this rooftop, these two psychopaths up there dancing, and you can't ever tell if it's a fantasy, a dream, like, but they were both psychotic. So, and then it's a musical. I was like, what in the fucking weirdo Hollywood shit, man? Like, so anyways, we turned it off. It's like, yeah, I'm not into it's the musical version of, and it was just weird because it was trying to be really artsy. It kind of when it gets like really artsy like that, it kind of reminds me of the Cook, the Thief, what is that? The Cook, the Thief, the Lover, and which I thought was such a cool movie when I first saw it, and then to find out like what it's really about, and I probably must have seen, like, I don't know, that is so weird because I liked that movie when I had first seen it, but now to know like it's all about cannibal was like, oh man, I don't. Ugh. But even when I went to go watch that again, and it came on, I was like, oh, what did I like about this? Ugh, this movie's bugging me. But that's how this one was coming across to me, just weird. And then, so we changed off to that. But then we put on this other movie with Michael Keaton called Goodrich. And it's good, like, drama thing of a man realizing what's important, family or work. Because he put so much time into work, and so he gets the repercussions of that with his older daughter. He starts a new family. That falls apart because he doesn't give it any time. So then he's kind of, it was just like the universe was just taking and taking and taking. But I could see, like, you're going in the wrong way, and the universe is going to keep taking it. Like, he just worked and worked and worked and worked and worked. And so, yeah, the universe is going to take that shit away from you and keep taking things till you get down to where you need to be. But in this one, it had Mila Kunis in it. Like, she's all over the news. And then that one's a hard watch, too, because it's like, oh, man, Jack. Like, you know, I mean, I feel bad because she was like 14 when those guys all started in on her on that show. And, but I don't know. She wrote a letter about Danny Masterson and, you know, defending him. And she keeps defending her husband and stuff. It's like, what about if you were face to face with some of the victims? Like, how would you feel then? Like, when you saw they're not just made up people, that they're real girls, real women who were damaged, and they didn't, you know, get to stay married to them and make the money. They, you know, probably a lot of them lost their careers. Some lost their lives, obviously. So, I don't know, there's so much darkness in Hollywood. But that fight with the Jake Paul and stuff, so, because it totally seemed like the representation of dark and light, and especially the way Mike Tyson is so indulgent, you know, I mean, he was way early on the face tattoos, him getting one, but the tribe people, they've been doing a long time, like the New Zealand, like that tribe and stuff has all those things on their face, which really, when they do that, and they've got these monkeys, it's fucking, you gotta look it up if you've never seen them. It's so fucking cool. And I'm so excited for this battle cry, and this is like this domino is gone now, and it's like, and the one guy I just saw saying it, he was talking about, this is the matriarch, this is the divine feminine, this is that energy coming back, because it's a woman who's doing it. Oh, it's getting me emotional again. It's so fucking cool. It's so exciting. It's like it's going, man. It's like we're on it now. It's like we were on this ride, and now all of a sudden it's, whew, and Donald every day. Yesterday, well, I don't know what all the days, but now there's free school. Like, university is gonna be free. You get to get a bachelor's for free, and then it's gonna be, they're gonna weed through the schools because the bad stuff is gonna go down. So it's gonna be a lot more about teaching people skills, and it's not gonna be about people going and getting bachelor degrees in gender studies and stuff like that. It's going to be real stuff where people can really get out of school and make money and, you know, build themselves up in something. So what are you going to do? Because you understand about whatever their programming, their propaganda is on gender studies. I just had somebody, I've had this ever since Twitter, said something. Oh, it's Nasargasar. That's a funny one. Yeah, every time. Like when I say something, when I did this video talking about the Social Security is going to go up like 3 times the amount or something I heard. And so all these people are, oh, no, it's not. You don't even know what the fuck you're talking about. It's going to be cut. You're not even going to have it. You're going to see it. They just come in with all this stuff. And it's like, okay, well, do you know about BRICS? Do you know about Nasargasar? Like, and BRICS is going. It's happening. It's like, it's not a fucking stretch. It's not like I'm like, well, someday they may do this. It's like they've fucking been doing it for years. It's the resistance of the fucking, this country, the bankers, and why it's so big over here, why they have to play it out so slow, because it's going to be such a big fall. It's like, okay, so in the Battle of the Titans, let's just say, you know, this is the beast that we're battling, like Godzilla. So it is like I see it, like, you know, they've got all these big things stabbing into Godzilla with these big long spears and stuff. But it's like the spears are what helps it to fall slowly, so it doesn't just fall and just crush us all. So it's like a slow fall. And so it's like they've got it, they're killing the beast slowly. But they've been killing us slowly for a long fucking time, so they deserve it slow and no. Slow, you know, okay, okay, just let me go back on this. Okay, so the battle cry. Okay, did I finish that other thing? Whatever the fuck I was talking about. Oh, the movie. Oh, because the perspective. Because what was so strange was that there was a part 2, but in my mind, I'm thinking, well, he thinks that this is new, but it's not new, because in my mind, I didn't know there was a 2, but it's weird how perspective, there's so much, like in our limited perspective, that gives us what it is that we believe, but it's not, it can be so inaccurate. And so it's so weird, and how much everything has to do with perspective and limited perspective, and I don't know, it's kind of like perspective. The gaining of perspective is like putting down all your weapons. It's like putting it all down, and just be like, anything that comes to you, anything that anyone said is just, that's their perspective. That's their perspective. That's how they're seeing things. And it doesn't really have anything to do with us. Even when somebody is trying to tell you something, it's not like you have to change or be something, because it's just their perspective. You can take it, you know, and some people really want to push their perspectives, you know, and that is where you're going to see, like, man, what's wrong with them that they got to push what they want on other people. Like, it must feel very insecure for them. It must feel very scary in the world, because they need to control everybody and how everybody does and thinks and stuff. And so, I don't know, it's a very change in perspective when you look at the bully is, you know, being an inflated, sad character. And I know some are vicious. Like, it's not like you can, you know, like somebody comes up and bullies you, and who wants to sit down? Oh, do you want to talk about it? Are you okay? I know you're having a hard time, because that's only going to make it matter. So, but in our minds, to know what we're dealing with and stop taking it on, you know, like something's wrong with us. Something's wrong with them. Something's real wrong with them. And the more that we fix ourselves, the more we can see it. And the more that, it's not like cut everybody out of your life, but, you know, you can learn how to not be reactive, to not deal with people like that, to just look the other way. It's like, you're going to say that to me, and then you want a reaction, but you're not going to get it. I'm just, yeah, you said it, so what? You know, because a lot of times people, like on Max, what I've noticed, like, he knows I'm going to go sit somewhere, he'll go sit there. And I was like, what in the fuck, dude? And then I started being, oh, because he likes the attention. He likes me to pick him up and take him over there. And so, a lot of things that people do, it's like they want the feedback, they want the what's coming back to them, and sometimes what people get back is anger and stuff. Oh, because there's such a weird kind of thing. Okay, so like an angry person who can push you to get angry, then they can, in their own minds, think, see, I'm not that angry. They can get mad. I mean, that's normal. I'm not, you know, the more that we isolate that behavior, the more we don't react to that behavior, the more that they have to stand there in their own behavior and look, like, oh, you're pretty angry. You got anger problems. And, but they will push that to bring that up in other people to give that feedback to themselves. So that's just one thing, too. So be aware of that. But, okay, so back on the light and the dark. So we have the dark, which is like that kind of bullshit. And the light. And so in all these different things in our world right now, it's representing this battle, because everything is micro, macro. Everything is a representation of everything else. And so when you look at this battle with Mike Tyson and Jake Paul, so, which is so weird how a couple months ago they were saying like it already happened, he got his ass kicked and stuff like that. And there was all these videos going around about it where I thought it must have really happened. But then Crystal said no, her son's waiting for this fight and that it hasn't happened, it's coming up. And so then I was like, but that's so weird, why are they drawing attention to that? But then I started seeing Jake Paul all of a sudden was also in support of Donald. And so then I was like, okay, so they're trying to get attention on this is getting attention on it. And so then they did just have it. So Mike comes out in some weird ass fucking chaps with his ass hanging out and waving his dick. That's all I know is that people saying he's like shaking his balls or what, something down there. And then, and how like, well, what fuck, dude? Why do we want to see that? But that's what it's all becoming. This fucking fetish. Sometimes it just trips me out. Like the people who, I don't know, it's just so fetishy. When you're just like, oh, I'm just gay. I just sleep with a lot of men. I just like sucking dick. What about that is about love? And then, I mean, is sex it's just a toy? Because it's a pretty dark toy. As there's a lot of people who end up getting hurt out of it. There's consequences to it of a whole nother reality being birthed. And it also, destroys people's self-esteem because people connect and stuff. So anyways, it's a whole complex thing. But when they get so fetishy like that, oh, I only sleep with guys, and you see so much of this stuff, it's like, that is, you're just out there saying I have a sex fetish, everybody. Like, I really like dicks, and it's a really fun time for me. It's like, well, for one thing, why do we need to know anything about it? Isn't that your personal bedroom shit? Like, what does that have to do with, it's just weird because you got all these girls doing this stuff too, like taking all their clothes off to try and find a man. It's like, how many men do you think are going to want when all the other men have already, like, it's just whoever. It's like, girl. But then, and when it comes to the light, so apparently, I don't know, Mike Tyson slapped Jake Paul or something. So this aggressiveness of the darkness, how it's just bitch slapping us right now too. And so, and Jake Paul, like, taking the higher road, but then he kicked Mike Tyson's ass, apparently. And I don't know if Mike Tyson made it through all the rounds, but Jake Paul won the fight. And I think it was after the slap is when Jake went and sat and like did this meditation. So he's all about this, mind, body, spirit. So he's the light compared to the dark. And it's not just skin color, but that is funny though, how they have that too as the representation of these two things. And so I don't know. I mean, I would think Mike Tyson's probably been involved in some dark stuff, but I kind of feel like he would redeem himself, and maybe he's like playing a part. I don't know. There's so many of these people. Like, there was pictures the other day of Joe Biden standing next to Donald. And it was like, how is Joe taller than Donald? Donald is like 6'5". So it was just as all this stuff is going to have to, start coming out of the characters. And that not everybody is, that it's like this movie kind of, because people are playing parts in order to play out a story, to let the beast die slowly, to help the people become aware, to move out of, oh yeah, that's kind of cool. Because in the thing, in the video, in the what I see is it's like all these townspeople out there with their things, this giant Godzilla or whatever, getting stabbed, and it's coming down, but the shadow. So the shadow shows what will go get smashed, and that's kind of like what we're having right now. Is this the darkness, the shadow of the darkness? That's the part you gotta let go of. That's the part you gotta see. The part in your own life where the shadow is over you, so that you can get out of the shadow as it falls. Because it's so weird how they can show me the same kind of thing in these different ways. But it is so much about letting go of the dark, getting free from the dark, and being able to what the fuck, man? That one felt like something went in there and kicked in my throat. It's like I've never had so many weird feelings in my throat before, ever. And so, okay, so where were we? I swear to God that stuff happens to disrupt something. Okay, so the light, the dark. Okay, so yeah. So it's when it's all the people, you have an attachment, just like these people that have been for so long, how it's been. I mean, at the schools, gay pride, everything is about this gay, but what is gay? What is gay? And because when I was growing up, it was people who fell in love with or found themselves attracted to the same gender, and then they wanted to be accepted. But it was all about accepting, the coupling, this marriage, like people in love that wanted to be in love, wanted to be accepted for being in love with their same gender. Like it should count the same as everybody else. And so then it's like, yeah, but then it turns into just a fucking, sex orgy everywhere. So everybody just sleeping with everybody. I hate men. Now I'm a lesbian. There's so much of that. It's like, so then that, when you go backwards from that, it's like, oh, so everybody who all of a sudden decided they're gay, was it that they were all hurt by somebody at some point? So that's why all these people are gay. Well, I don't like those ones. I don't like girls. I don't like boys. Ooh. It's like, so somebody hurt you at some point, and you need to get over it. So you need to isolate yourself from a whole gender. And like I said, people don't even see, like, what do we do? At some point, we're just going to have people like, yeah, I really, really like feet. Do you mind if I just, finish on your feet real quick? It just will take a minute. I'm really, like, oh, some nice feet. It's like, oh, sure. Here, give me some money. As long as you give me some money, if you pay me, yeah, you can. Yeah, you bring your friends too. Everybody can finish on my feet. It's like, what the fuck is going on with our society? I swear to God. It's like, it's like the loss of respect for self-respect. And it's sad because it's also been trained. Oh yeah, what I was going to say about that woman. So in the thing where I said about Nassar Gassar, and these people are just like, when it's happening right, goddamn right now, quickly go look it up and see for your fucking self. But no, I would rather go on the internet and argue with somebody about it. Oh, fuck you. And this is the second one that came at me. I was like, oh, I'm not into that letter. stuff. Oh, well, this is some PTSD back to fucking next door, dude. Like, goddamn. I was with Ted Royal, like, all the fucking time. Everything I'd motherfucking say. Be like, oh, yeah, Mr. He would spell my name with a Q. Like, oh, Kelly. And would just keep trying to, humiliate me on the next door. No matter what I went on there for, he would find me. He got me kicked off of the fucking thing, like a fucking weirdo. But so when I would go on there, he would keep saying that, and I'd be like, I don't even know what you're talking about, dude. You are obsessed with this letter. I don't even know what the fuck you're talking about. It's like, these people, like, where is this? Did you get your information? And then when they come at you, yo, but I get the right information. You go talk and listen to your Q stuff. It's like, oh, Jesus Christ. You people don't even know how fucking deep you're in your fucking brainwashing. It's like, it's absurd. You know more about, I told Ted so many times, you know more about this than I do. So who's obsessed with it? You psychopath. But anyways, so apparently, again, that's a very cute if you believe in Sargasara. Like, okay, well, whatever. I mean, BRICS is literally happening. It's happening right before us. Now we got all these fucking leaders too. Some leader, some Chinese president or something. Now he is making a big thing about he's going out to work on his golf game because he's so excited he wants to play golf with Trump. See, everything is going to be changing. Everything is changing. And it is so much like, it's like, man, it's like he's the catalyst. It was. He was the catalyst all along. But it really was. It's like once this thing happened, it was like, whew, the two directions went. And in the direction of going with him, it is going to be all like good, and good things are going to keep going better. And the resistance is their own darkness, their own biases that they projected onto him, and they don't realize that it's them. And so they've got to process through that. And, I don't know, each person's individual thing. Like if you're watching your family member and you're like, fuck, man, because I've got some, and I keep on thinking, well, there's going to be a lot of events, a lot of things that are going to be happening. I think I've made mention of enough things that when they start seeing those things happen, that I'll be like, oh, it will kind of like start, chipping into those, that resistance. And so, I think a lot of people will start seeing, I don't think everybody's going to go, keep going dark. And the dark is going to keep getting rougher. But there will be more splitting, I think, of, like I said, like the areas where he's going to start being like, everybody can come here and you can do all these things. And there's going to be people like, I'm not living without him. So there will be, that's their own darkness. And they have to find it, and it may be them seeing all of the people in the lightness, enjoying themselves and having a good time, that's where it's like all of a sudden they have to see, like, what the fuck, man, why am I, because it's going to start playing out in ways where people are going to just really be able to see themselves much more clearly. And so, but it is so much like the split, and so we're already on this new ride. It's already going in this new direction, and so they're supposed to be lifting up censorship. College is supposed to be for free homes and stuff like that. Whatever's going to go down with the money, because they still got to do this thing over to the BRICS where he's reducing the interest. But see, I know it's going to be gone. He's not going to just reduce it because it's a part of the illegal contracts that they created to create debt. And debt was created. There were so many things created. This whole world was created. And then they didn't even fucking tell us the goddamn truth about it. I guess apparently on the news now they're saying about that the earth is flat, even though we've said it's not. truly flat, but that gets us closer to the concept of the flat earth as being a stationary flat plane, and in a firmament, and things are going around us, which that can be in the firmament. That could be like their Truman Show sky that they created, for all I know. Because to me, the stars and stuff are beings, and so anyways, whatever. All this stuff is going to be going. The energy is gonna. I know the energy is gonna be what. It's like it opens the firmament. It's like our bubble's gonna pop, and then that's when we're gonna be like free galactic beings or something. But we have to raise the bar to get there, because all this negative. It's like when your body creates a tumor inside of you, so you get all these parasites, which so many people have so many parasites right now. Everybody's got to be doing these cleanses, because they're just kicking our ass with the C word. So when you when your body notices there's something strange in there that's supposed to be in there, and it builds its own little containment around it, and then they label that a TUMOR. And so that thing, that containment, is holding all of the stuff that the horse pace kills. It's holding all that inside of it. And so when you cut it open or pop it, this is why they're saying that, where these doctors are going in and saying, oh, we need to remove these tumors, that's the worst thing you can do, and that is what puts all the stuff out in you. And so that is on the micro macro. See, that's where we're at. We're like a tumor in the universe. And so opening the firmament before it's time, then it lets all of that darkness out. And but it can't go past its thing. It's like the firmament isn't like a containment. It's like a natural containment, because it is the frequency. It's like this frequency and this frequency, like these two frequencies, they don't go together. So it's and there's like the buffer, but it's like it's the containment isn't like made to contain us or something. It's just a natural thing. So it can't go out past this. It's the glass wall is the containment that holds us in, holds the tumor into the reality or whatever. But it's when we all become more clear, when we're more connected to our higher selves, then the barrier is no longer necessary. So it's like we dissolve the barrier as we expand ourselves. So that is, it's dissolving as we go. I think that's probably the destabilizing of how people are feeling, is because there was so much that was holding us, kind of like in the house after the bathroom got fixed, how everything just feels clean and feels fresher. The air doesn't feel so heavy and dense. It's weird, man. And then when you think about like the dark energy and what's growing in the dark energy and stuff, then you bring in the light, and it's just like, oh, I can breathe again. And that's what it's gonna be like. But the people in the dark, they're still the little things that are eating away at the dark. Because he said when he was pulling out the floor, there was all sorts of little bugs and stuff. And it's like, oh, these little bugs like this. Some would come up sometimes, and I would see a little weird bug going on the floor. But underneath the floor, he said it was just all these little bugs that were in the rotten wood. It's like, ugh. So that's kind of what the darkness, like they're just eating off of this darkness. And so the light, it's like it goes, it's like fresh air, man. And but that is like the split. It's like they're going darker. Because it's like you have to, it's like what I had said, where I had noticed that things had to keep getting worse and worse and worse, and the worse things got, the more it would wake people up. So yeah, it's going to go darker. It's going to keep going worse and worse and worse for a certain group of people. And it's the darkness that holds them, see? And that's why all these different things have been happening. It's like pecking us, woodpecking us, or prickling us to get us to bring this stuff up. But it's very challenging because there's so many people who use different distractions so that they've been more well equipped to not deal with things than to deal with things. So it's more of drinking, shopping, gossiping, drama, just all those kinds, just man surfing, women's like just looking for someone to go out and have sex with. That's fucking huge distraction. When people needed to be focused and facing the things that were coming up, but so many people didn't, and that it was like, so they were missing out on their healing. But there was, to me, it just depends, like, because mine has all been like guided. Well, also, I mean, I was put into a place of isolation. Like, I've been here since March of 2019 with not a lot of interaction. I mean, I've left a few times and gone places. I've had people come a few times, but, I don't leave and go to work. And, sometimes I'm here for weeks and don't have any interaction with anybody but the dogs. So or in a text or whatever, or FaceTime sometimes. But anyways, but I see how that has been so beneficial to me now, how it's helped me to really focus and see. And another thing that trips me out too is when I was being here and my eyes started getting so much worse. I started having problems, so many problems with my eyes. And that whole situation where I was seeing this flashing light, because I'll see sparkles, and that's what was confusing me, is they'll come and you'll know like things are wrong because they'll do these sparkles, and but this was this flash, and it was something with my eye. I've got so many things because the damage started with the brain injury. And then it just was more things, and everything I turned to them to try and fix it, they only made it worse. And so once I was here and I started having all these eye things, I'm in this place, I'm in isolation, then it goes into, because right after it went into quarantine, and it was right after the laser surgery, and my eyes just got worse and worse and worse. And, but then when I would go into communication, it was always, they wanted me to focus on my internal vision, and it was so hard for me to see out of my eyeballs, and it would be so difficult like to try and see, but my inner vision was definitely getting more and more and more. And then but now, as things have been changing and stuff, my vision, the black seed oil has really made such a difference. But I've also seen it has to do with the copper, the magnesium, all these things, all of the deteriorations, like if you wear glasses, any of those things are all mineral problems. Like all the different things, like we are perfectly made beings if we have what we need. And we've been the things we need have been being withheld from us, and we've been lied to about it. And so there's a lot of deterioration. And, but yeah, your eyes is one of them. But now all of a sudden my eyes are switching. And it's like it's like I would say, but I'm pretty sure I would be 2020. After my LASIK, I think I was 2015. I could be more like that, but there is and my close-up vision is improving. And one of the things to me that I worked on is patience. So when you're looking at something close up and you get frustrated and you can't see it, just have patience. Let your eyes adjust. It's like your eyes become slower at adjusting, and kind of hold it back. And light sometimes helps, but they do all this little tiny print, and then they do it with these color schemes that mess with your eyes too. And one thing I've noticed too is it's something really hard to see. Take a picture of it, and then you can blow it up more. if you need to read something, which I've had to do like on ingredients and stuff. But then some of the things, there's just like so much to the ingredients. It's like so much easier just to go with simple ingredients. And but when it comes to the shampoos and stuff too, it's just like, God damn, it's supposed to have all this natural stuff, but then you still find some kind of chemical name in there. It's like, well, I don't know. And so okay, let me think what I was saying. So the my stomach is growling like crazy. I feel like I'm starving. That is one thing. It's been all week long. I just feel like I'm starving, man. I'm like so hungry. Um, let me think. What was I saying about the tumor? I'm past that. Dang, what was I talking about? Let me see if there's something else. Because I have not seen really what's going on. There could be a lot of stuff going on. I just kind of rely on that, the first, it's like, especially before I do this, it's like, okay, so if there's something you want me to see beforehand that you want me to talk about, just bring it right away. Show me. And then it's like, usually when I'll go and I'll look at something, then it will be like, I'll feel overwhelmed, like, I can't take any more information, or I'll feel super emotional. And that's when I will be like, okay, I gotta go talk about this. And even if I don't really know what I'm talking about. God damn. And yesterday too, when we left, my yard is just a swamp. It's just fucking muddy swamp. It's so fucking muddy. It's just like deep mud. It's ridiculous. And when we drove yesterday, all these yards that are just like lake ponds now and stuff. Like, I don't know how much more they're gonna keep going. Like, I don't know what's the next like on this shit, man. But and plus how he keeps being like he's just sneezing his head off and totally congested. And I'm just glad, because there's been so much of where I keep having this, and it's like, where is this coming from? And he hasn't been here with all that, with the mold and mildew, even though he breathed it in, and I gave him the ginger stuff and he felt better. But it came back. It could, you could think, well, okay, well, he still got that, and I have it, but I still think it has to do with the rain, something in the rain, something in the fog. And yesterday I went out to go for the walk with the dogs, and mostly it's just Max and Stella like to go do it. And so we're walking, and it's just drizzling. It's just like it's like a mist. It's like just non-stop raining. And so, and it was just, I was so irritated. And the dogs start doing weird shit too. And it was just like, oh my God, I was just feeling so irritable. And then as we were walking, my throat was hurting more and more and more. It was like, fuck, I feel like I'm breathing in some kind of toxic gas. I feel like if you are a closed up room and you're spray painting, and how you start feeling, that's what it motherfucking feels like. It's like, so I think that is what's, getting us sick. I'm sure that wasn't helping. I'm sure that the mildew and shit was adding to it. But we'll see, because, all this detoxing and stuff, I should get way better all of a sudden, right? Now this is all closed up. I should be getting better and better and better. And I feel like I did notice a difference by starting the vitamin D. I don't know for sure if I noticed much difference from the zinc, but the zinc you're supposed to take in the morning. And another thing too, I can't remember what the other one was, but there's a couple you're supposed to take in the morning, and then the magnesium more in the afternoon. You don't take them together. You can't take zinc and magnesium and calcium and stuff. You can't take those all together because they don't absorb. They fight each other. So you have to take them in different increments, and it can be like 2 hours apart or whatever the guy was saying. But zinc is a morning type thing, and zinc is very difficult to absorb. And so there's certain types of zinc you're supposed to take even. And But zinc is important for magnesium and copper um, absorption or something, just like iron is. Like there's so many of them. You need the other ones to absorb them right. So so I've been taking the vitamin D in the morning too. And then biotin. So I take those ones in the morning, the zinc, the biotin, the vitamin D, and then later in the afternoon, I do magnesium a couple times, which also in that thing it said it's better to take small doses all throughout the afternoon, which that is what I said. I started noticing when I kept taking doses, I started noticing that my hair was changing faster. I was like, oh, so we should be taking it more. And then I'd seen a doctor talk about, yeah, you can't overdose on magnesium. And last night I got a leg cramp again. I was like, fuck, I need more magnesium. Because cramps and stuff come from a lack of magnesium. So it's like, no matter how much fucking magnesium you take, you need more and more and more. It's crazy. So I don't know if my body was just super depleted and it's just working on building its magnesium back up. Like, I don't know for sure how it all works, but I know magnesium is vital to our existence, and so is copper. And there's more of them too. Iron, I feel so certain. It's iron is what it is that people are trying to get out of eating meat. They're trying to get the iron that their body needs. So if they were getting iron, then I don't think they would be craving meat. And which is so weird how you have this big carnivore diet that so many people are on, and it's helping so much with their health and their mind and all these things where they're like, man, I just feel so much better and I can think better and stuff. I could feel certain it's the iron deficiency, and that it's like you're getting these things from these animals, but you can get them without the animal. And that's where, the people will start to develop in that direction of like, to have those realizations. But this is still, we're in the part of putting the pieces together, of noticing and putting all the pieces together. So yeah, all these people to be having these big effects from this carnivore diet is, to me, totally iron deficiency. But it's also is this micro macro. That's the darkness of like, here, get it from the other animal. When the light is, you can get it from other things. Salt, like, I don't know that we would keep having to take vitamins. I think somehow we're going to start having our environment's going to be more, like, I don't know that we're all going to have to be taking vitamins. I think it's mostly that we have it drained out of everything. Like they've geoengineered the food so much that they were taking everything out of it. They were making it mostly additives, and it's like all we're doing is eating a bunch of fucking plastic and wax and poison, and nothing nutritionally sound or based for our health. And then on top of it, just to keep attacking us with more things with our health. And I know that they're doing that, gassing us and stuff. I know they are. It was something else too that I saw, because it's like it'll confirmation. It's like it'll come into my mind. Fuck, I was in again. That was so weird. It was almost like I could see somebody right there too kick my throat, like right into my throat. God, that was so weird. Fucking Archons. So the fuck, so disruptive. So the what was I saying? So the fuck. I swear it works. All these different interruptions. If they do Stella and get her to start, it always gets me out of, it's like it's like a concentration to be able to stay concentrating. And that's why I think some of the people like do it with their eyes shut or go into meditation and stuff like that, because it throws you, like you have to focus. And that's what I've also noticed is the focus. And the more you zoom in, that's when you can, like I said, you can go in deeper into things, right? I think that's where people start, like with time travel or something. And what's that other thing too? The time travel. Because being able to go in. Because the remote viewers, how they can go into places. It's like I think it's like you see the place, and they go by coordinates too. So they go in on the coordinates, they see the place, and they go in it, and then they go into an office, they look around, they open drawers, look in drawers and shit. Like, there's fucking things that people can do. They're crazy, but to me, that's what it is like. It's a focus. Like, I can look over and I can see the things and I can go into them, but I don't ever, like, I can go into them enough to feel the emotions. I can feel it, but I don't know. I feel like there's a general overall thing with my guidance is like learning how to trust. It's like you're not going to see everything. You're not going to be shown every little thing. You just have to know everything's going to be okay. And so, and that to me, sometimes when I hear some of these people, stomach's having an earthquake. And some of these people, when I hear these people saying, you know, like their guides told them this and this and this and this, and, you know, especially there were so many that were like, oh, Kamala's going to win for sure. Yeah, just so exciting and all that stuff. And I was like, I think, I don't know who you're listening to, but that is the thing is like some people like think they're listening to their guides, but to me, yeah, your guides don't tell you all that stuff. My guides tell me a lot more, like, you know, like they're there more of answering questions, and I don't know, they give you like reminders of things like, you know, get your umbrella, might want socks today or whatever, weird shit like that. Did you put that thing back in your purse? Do you remember? And then there's a lot of things too, like if things go missing, like if I can't find something, I can ask them and then they'll put it in my head, an image of where it's at. And there was one, it was while I've been doing this too, because there was one, I was looking for something. I don't remember what it was. It was a few years ago, and I couldn't find it. And they kept showing me it was at this one place. So I went over there and I was looking, and I was like, where in the fuck is it? But they kept showing me inside the suitcase. And I kept being resistant and looking around it. But then I was like, oh, okay, in the suitcase. So I went open it, and it was in the suitcase. So it was, so they do that kind of stuff. They'll help you, show you things. But it's a lot of times it's like something happens and then you're like, what does it all mean? Like, what is it all about? You know, like when I was like having all these problems with my eyes and I wasn't being able to see. And they were telling me, we want you to focus on your internal vision. And it's like, okay, but they were giving me a lot of internal vision too. So that's one thing. Like if you're confused over your guidance and you're like, well, who the fuck am I talking to? You know, you've got to decipher through. That's how you build your trust. And all I can tell you is like your higher self is the quietest room in the highest mind is the quietest voice in the room. The loudest is the ego-driven nonsense. The darker energy is the loudest. The lighter energy is the quietest. So when you're trying to decipher, and then you can go in and ask those questions too. Ask them straight up. Who the fuck are you trying? You know, are you here for my best interest? Are you here for the best of man? Are you here for my ascension? Are you here for, you know? I talk to them and ask them, because if you call them out, they got to reveal themselves. That's how that one lady found out that she was talking to that shapeshifter, because they can't trick you once you catch on. That's why you can tell them, get the fuck out of your house. Once you catch on, they're there. This is my space. Fucking move on out of here. Here, like, I've done that stuff. But that's when I start realizing, like, oh, I'm in a portal. I'm in a zone where it's like like, it's not so much where I could just walk back there and walk into another world, but there's other worlds that can walk through here. And so, I don't know, because there's these ones, there's just a lot of movement around there, a lot of fucking, and it's a lot out here lately. Like, you know, the other day when I turned, there was this old woman standing here, and then I keep seeing different people standing around, and it's always like, it will be like you'll turn and you'll catch it, and then you'll look back, but you'll see it so perfect, and then you look back because it's like your mind accepts it when it's not paying attention, but when it's like what, and it turns like that, it puts up a resistance, and so the things you see out of the corner of your eyes, it's not like your brain is making that up. It's like when you turn to look, you block it yourself. And I don't know, to me it always seemed kind of like when I was a kid, I used to think it was I would block it because I was really scared on the inside. I was like, oh, I don't really want to see, but I gotta look and see. But so I don't know, but you can see them like in a quick turn, like because in this one when I saw her, I was looking this way, and then I turned to look back at my son-in-law, was whatever we were watching. I was gonna comment or something because I'm one of those people who fucking talk through shit through movies and stuff all the time, and when I turned, and she was just standing, like she was just standing right next to me while looking at the same thing we were looking at. I was like, nice to meet you. No, I don't talk to them. I recommend not talking to them. Don't interact with people out of the other realms and stuff to me when they're there, because then it's like you are creating another, I just know. It's like I don't want to be talking to them. And it's like I don't want to, no. Let me think. What was the other thing? Because it seemed like there was something else I was saying. Oh, okay, because the food and the blood and the getting the minerals and starting to look at things in a more healthy way. But yeah, there may be, because there's gonna be so many things different about like the way we eat and stuff. I just feel like things are gonna be changing a lot. And like what I was saying, like when I was saying in Barcelona, I don't think I finished it the other day, but it was people were on this schedule, and it seems like that this is kind of a Latin kind of, because there's other places that are more like a Latin thing of the siesta. So it's like you get up in the morning, you do your work, and then you take a siesta, you take a break, and then you get up, and then you go, I don't know, enjoy yourself or something. But so in Barcelona, it's kind of like on that, and people like go to work at like 10 in the morning or something. Like nothing opens early. Everything is like, maybe coffee places open early. Everything opens late. The town, like you go out in the morning, it's like nobody's out because it's way more of this nightlife. So they get up late, then they have shops open or whatever. Then people go and I guess rest like around dinner time, like what we're here in America. It's like the time where people go off work and go home and start eating dinner and winding down. That's when they go into that. It's like a rest kind of thing to prepare, because then they go out later and eat, and then they stay out, and a lot of it's just staying and sitting and drinking wine with their friends and just sitting around listening to music. Like where we went down walking, it was like it was water all along there. I'm not sure what the waterway was, and then there was like bridges going across and stuff, but this was all restaurants, and it was tiered. So it was tiers of restaurants, and they were all a patio. Oh, that's the coolest thing I love too, is a patio restaurant. They eating outdoors, like all these little cafes and shit. I just love that stuff. So all those tons and tons, and all these people, all full, everybody. And it's fucking late. Everybody's just sitting out there, drinking their wine, eating their stuff, and then all along the walkway where people are walking and stuff is street musicians and doing music. And there might have been other performers and stuff. It seemed like it was a lot of music. And then people standing there listening to music or dancing and giving them money and stuff. And it's like, this is how we're supposed to be living. You know, some places have got to live like that. America has not been like that. I mean, it's kind of, you know, where I don't know, even the socializing just became kind of dark. And it all became about being drunk, like where, you know, as a woman, you have to worry, like, can you even drink anything safely? And it's not even with women anymore, it's men too, especially because, you know, the organs are big money. So, it's like not safe. It's not, you know, uh, I don't know. It's become so toxic. It's just very toxic. It's very people sleeping with each other, getting drunk, people taking advantage of one another. Oh, see, something's bothering her. Come here, honey. You know, I think she's really stiff with her hips and stuff. I think with all the extra, and she gets stressed, man. She's been stressed having the other dog here, another person. Come here, sweetie. Mama, come here. Mama, hold ya. Oh. I'm gonna finish up, honey. But that always happens in the winter, and always when the rain, because the moisture, with the coldness, it causes with arthritis. So her arthritis always starts bothering her in the winter. So it's just like, can't even believe another fucking, I just can't even, but now I've got this nice ass fucking bathroom. God, I'm so excited. Like I had that shit ass bathroom this whole time. It was like right after I moved in. I found out there was a problem. I tried to get insurance. They wouldn't do it. Then right after, then they did the whole close down, and then they start jacking the prices up on stuff. And then there's a whole problem out here finding worker people to do it. And then it's like, fuck, man. You just are like, so that's why I was like, okay, Universal, I can't sit here and stress about it. I can't drive myself crazy. I gotta know, just go with the flow. Let things happen the way they're supposed to happen. And, and things are still happening every day. Things happen. And it's going to keep on happening too. And so now, at least, if it's winter, at least now I'll have a nice bathroom. And I'm loving the cabinets. I'm loving the kitchen. And I can't wait to do that countertop. I can't wait to do both the countertops. I love projects. I love creating space. I love making the place that you want. And it's funny because all the spaces I've ever created have their own thing. And I don't know, I think that is a part of a woman, a part of the female spirit, of the creation of, like we are the creators. And that creating space, I think there's so many women who just want to create a home. They just want to make a home, this cool home for their families. And, but that becomes this battle zone, so many of these toxic relationships, because we just have got to go to this other level. We got to level up, level ourselves up. So then when we are healed, and then we will only date people who are healed, and the universe is going to bring you into alignment. And so the more you work on yourself, the more the people who are in your same thing, you will be drawn to each other. And but it's a slow process, and everybody wants it quick, wants it now, wants this, and they think it's going to make them happy. So many people think, oh, if I get married and have kids, I might be so happy. And then they find out, like, fuck, man, it's work. It's hard work. It's not fun times. But I just feel like that there's a lot of these things that when we improve ourselves, it's not such a burden. And then plus when we're not fighting against a goddamn system. Like, we've been fighting a beast the whole goddamn time. But anyways, in life, you can really take notice. Like, take notice that, like, go listen if you need a little pump up. Go listen to what Donald says. If you need to be like, oh, I'm sure, but I'm worried, go read about the bricks. Go read and see what's going on with all that, and how it's moving, and everything that goes with that. And then go read about what the gold standard, when it went off, and what Nisargasar is. Like, this is not some fucking bullshit. And it all goes with the golden age and all the stuff Trump just keeps saying, and it's already putting out there with free land and free this and free that. Like, as everything is going to be changing, it's like we get to go back and be free. We get to go back and live like as we were meant to be. But even when I say that, I say it loosely, because everything is meant to be the way it's meant to be. We were meant to go through that. We were meant to heal this. We were meant to have that carry forward in how we are learning. So, but everything is a transition. Everything is a movement. You can't stay stagnant. You have to keep with the flow. And any kind of resistance you throw, like, I could have there's a lot of ways I could have gone about the floor thing, but I made the choices on to go against the bankers, to go against the thing. I'm not gonna do their stuff. I would much rather recycle, like on my cabinet, on my countertops. I would much rather just repaint them. But then when I do the epoxy, I just think that is going to stay on good. But I think that's going to look really cool, especially if I did some flowers like how would I painted on this door. And so if I paint the counter black and then I paint some flowers like I did on that door, I think that looks so cool. And then I put epoxy over the top. Fuck, I think that look cool because the colors, it goes so much with this color. I didn't even realize, like what I was saying with the house color that I didn't finish, is so when I was going to go get the color, there was a house I really liked. It was really dark. So when I went up and I was looking at all of the paint things to get my color made, and but all the grays, they just look so, I don't know, with the little swatch thing, I was like, oh, I don't know, it's just so grayish. But the ones that had a little bit more blue in them, I liked that darker gray with a little bit of blue in it. And mine is called like Midnight or something. And so when I put it on, and it depends on the shadows, like the darkness. And since my house is in the shadows in the forest behind the trees, it makes it more dark. But it depends like on how the light shines on it. And so how the lights shine out. But this paint reminds me of it. But that, my outside is darker. But it kind of, it's like in the same kind of, it goes together. It's weird. Because it's like, man, that's trippy because the outside of my house is this color, but it's like now I've got all these colors I've painted in the house that go with it. And one thing too, that this has always been something that kind of tripped me out because I would have people that would come into my house and they'd be like, man, how do you get all this stuff that like matches and stuff? And I'd be like, I don't know, it just comes to me. It just comes to me, like, and it does. You know, the stuff just comes to me, and then I'll see something. I don't know how to explain it. And that's, to me, that's like where you think like people have like a gift of something. I mean, to me, it's just like, but it's the universe. It just like brings me something, and it's like, oh, I like that. That'll go. And then you just start having everything where it's like you went out and got all this at one place. I'm like, nope, years and years. So, anyways, the universe is magic. And I definitely say build your relationship with the universe, with your higher self. And yeah, like I said, the higher self and is the quieter, and the universe is like the mind. It's like the Google of the world. It's like the Google outside of you, because you can ask so many things, and then you'll get a vision of how to do it. And then sometimes it's like it goes all the time. Like everything I'll think of, it was like, oh, okay, yeah, I could do it. Like, oh, yeah, I see that. Yeah. So you start having that all the time. I think people have it and then they just don't realize, and they get kind of overwhelmed. Like, man, my brain doesn't stop. But I think that it is just learning how to, handle the communication, to manage it, because that's what it is. It's not your brain. I think, to me, when your brain is just going on repeat, when you just keep repeating, that's when your brain is like a record going on repeat. But the other stuff, but sometimes it can also be your guidance is repeating something. If you're getting something repeated, I would pay attention. And then if you're confused, ask your guidance. Even if you don't have great communication yet, just all the time, keep doing it, keep building on it. Don't ever give up on it. And then they'll get super excited too, the more that you start to catch on to the communication. Because it's the development, because they'll talk to you through signs and pictures and stuff. So music, you just gotta do the TV. Like, you just gotta start paying attention through that direction. So anyways, but you gotta remember what you're doing here is learning how to love yourself, love everyone, and how to have a loving day. Because it's how to have a loving day. Is that it? Sometimes I think, am I going to say it right? I don't know. So, learn how to love yourself, love everyone, and how to have a loving day. I guess it is. Sometimes it sounds like, is that what I said? Like, am I saying the right thing? I'm telling you, it feels like a dream. I feel like I'm living in a dream. So, remember, love yourself, love everyone, and learn how to have a loving day, because it's up to you. So, I'll talk to you later. Bye.